Hi, welcome. Today's question is, how do I show love to myself? So today's question is, how do I show love to myself? My name is Viv Bannigan. I'm the owner of Granuaile, a bespoke training and mentoring company based here in the heart of London. And I help women who feel overwhelmed, lack confidence, confused about the next step in their journey, and are seeking clarity on their unique landscape and vision for their future. We do this by sharing with them our key framework called the MAP, which works through tools and techniques so that they can take back control of the reins of their journey and move forward with clarity and confidence. So this question, I've just been pondering here is, how do I show love to myself? How do we show love to other people? But that's always kind of an external way of showing love. Sometimes it's just about going within, and I'm even guilty of it, of being all loving to other people, very focused on external relationships and looking for that to be met, or getting frustrated sometimes when it's not being met, and instead of realizing that actually the only relationship that really matters is the relationship I have with myself. And how do I demonstrate from an internal perspective that I am being loving to myself, that I am looking after my self-care, that I am motivating myself in a way that is going to support my growth and my well-being, rather than detract. Because when I'm focused on other people's needs and attentions, or other people's way of looking at things, I may not be aligning to the truth of who I am, and so I may not be looking after my own well-being and support. So if we're looking for more love in our life, the first person we need to be more loving to is oneself. And that's not always easy, because we could have experienced environments where we may have felt, and research shows that women will externalize or put more effort into other external relationships, looking to seek how they can fix them, and to support them, when actually it might be worth looking at the relationship from within. Is this bringing you well-being, or is this detracting? And what the law of attraction talks about is that we need to be in the same vibration of what we want to create if we want that to come in, because we're all energy, so it's being in that energy. And it's about sometimes letting go of those relationships that may not be supporting the manifestation of that well-being. Doesn't mean that they disappear, it's just not giving energy to it, starting to take back control of your own energy, starting to motivate yourself to follow what feels good in your energy, and letting go of those things that no longer serve us, or starting to see them from a new perspective. And this is all about tapping into love. Love is an energy, it's not an external force, it's how life moves forward. Whether you're studying economics or psychology or whatever you've studied, life is meant to move forward. And the way our structure has been set is that it's kind of set towards survival, where this is about kind of saying, well, if all our needs are met and we look after and tend to our own inner needs, then we will move forward. There will be flow, our needs will be met, and things will come up. And it's funny, because when I went traveling years ago, I went to South America on my own, and I had a friend that came with me, thankfully, because I cried the whole way on the plane there. I was terrified when I got off in Brazil, and if she hadn't been there with me, I probably would have got back on the plane. But I stayed, and we had a conversation about it, and it was the first time where I really started to recognize that I had to look after my own needs. I had to motivate myself to go out into the world, and particularly I didn't speak Spanish, I didn't speak Portuguese, I didn't speak Spanish. And for the first 3 weeks I just slept. So I was tired. It had been a huge upheaval. I hadn't quite planned to do this trip, and then I was in South America doing it. It had been something I had thought about. It was something I really wanted to do, and had it part of my life plan. It just kind of happened really, really quickly. And then the second part of it in Argentina, I just started to fix everything. Like, everything was mapped. Every minute of the day was mapped. Every bus was mapped. Everything was mapped. I was totally looking at this trip in terms of making sure that everything I was doing was aligning to the expectation of keeping myself safe, and wasn't very trusting myself. And I did over 240 hours on buses without all the tours that I did on top of it, and it just broke. At one point, it just all went up in smoke, all the patience, everything else evaporated, and I saw red. And it was the best thing that happened as well, because there was something in me that had, from an external perspective, felt that I needed to control everything or to be seen that I was in control. So when I got to the end of Argentina, I decided to get rid of the guidebook, or the rule book as I was calling it by then, and I started to go within in terms of, really tapping into the heart of what this trip was about. Was something resonating with me, and was it there for my well-being? Was it going to support me grow, or did it not feel right? So for the next 3 weeks, I just started going with things, and it wasn't easy, because I had honestly been very conditioned to follow rules, to put other people's needs or expectations, or to be okay for things going on in other people's lives or not feeling in my life. And now I suddenly had no rule book, and I had 3 weeks, and I was in a country, still didn't speak Spanish. I just knew how to order steak and red wine. And I started meeting people, and I started tapping into whether this was going to motivate me and help me grow, or whether I needed to move on. So in the first instance, I ended up doing a 5-day trek with a girl I didn't know, who became a friend, and we had a wonderful time. And then moving on to going to a town which it didn't feel right. It just didn't tap into giving me a flow, giving me a growth. So I moved on to the next place, and then I had a wonderful time. And it started to open up those avenues of looking into, I had manifested this trip, I had wanted to do this, I hadn't been vocal or external about my need to want to do this, but I was now doing it. And I had to allow myself to show myself love, to embrace that trip. And that is really a part of opening up the heart, opening up to one's own intelligence, and then aligning it to getting grounded and actually being curious and being creative. And I'm not expecting you to go to South America or anywhere like that. It's whether you're in your business, whether you're in your family, it's about taking that moment back in to ground yourself and question, or be curious more so than questioning, but be more curious about where are you supporting yourself to move forward with your well-being. Sorry, they're outside and I can't really stop the noisy bin men. And where am I intellectualizing that, and where am I being creative? Because when we start to appreciate that within ourselves, and start to appreciate that balance within ourselves, then we can really start to find our path, start to build the courage to let things go, or let others' expectations go that may be holding one back from following one's heart. And that becomes a practice, and it is a devotional practice. It doesn't happen overnight. And so my invitation for you today is to take the Just Stop lesson, where you take a pause today, you take a minute or time, or find a meditation on YouTube, and take some time for yourself to really give observation to your thoughts, your feelings, how you've moved in that day, where you are in alignment. And from that practice, list 10 things that you love about yourself and that you love to do. And right beside them, when was the last time you did them? And how did you engage with them? And what excuses did you make about wanting to do something that you knew in your heart was going to help you grow? And it's just about being curious about this, being mindful of it, so that we can remove that yes, no, but oh, I'm so sorry that I've gone and I've done something that actually has just tremendously opened my world and given me insight far beyond what I was expecting to. And it's about finding that flexibility. Now, many of you will be married, have kids, won't be able to get on a plane and go to South America. If that's what you would have chosen, you might be able to do that later on. That's absolutely fine, but you can look at it within just daily practices. Are you taking time, even a minute, for yourself? Are you taking time, finding that 5 minutes to really tap into grounding yourself, into listening to your heart about what you're engaged in, whether that's your business, to help it move forward, even just that step. It doesn't have to be wide spectrum, it just can be normal day to day. Because even when you travel around South America on your own with a backpack, you are still engaging with the normal practices every day. You have breakfast, you have lunch, you have dinner, you engage with people, you set an agenda, your business becomes yourself. It's the same in normal practice. It's just the environment is different, the culture might be different. You might be struggling to speak Spanish, might be different. So I'm going to leave that with you today, because this is about going with the flow. And when we are going uphill, or we are building resistance, we are moving against the flow, and that's when we can find procrastination, anxiety, and depression. And this is about just kind of unpacking some of those questions, because all of the answers are within you. We are all unique individuals. We can, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about my program, and we were talking about their program, and it's about creating safe spaces and environments where individuals and women feel that they can open up and kind of look at, some of those things that may hold them back, just in a curiosity, and then maybe consider trying something different, moving in a slightly different way, so that you're motivating yourself to love yourself, because that's the only job every single one of us has, is to motivate ourselves to love ourselves. And by doing that, we are motivating other people just by example. So remember, like attracts like. So go out there today, list, do your devotional practice, list your 10 things about that you love, and be curious about them. When have you done them? What obstacles? When have they arisen and you said no? And what were the reasons there? And what are you willing to let go of as we move into this full moon? So I'm going to leave it there. Remember, the first person one leads is oneself, mind, body, and spirit. Hope that all made sense for you. So please do check out our website. I will put the link below. You can sign up for our free Masterclass Navigating Change with Intention. Again, you just have to sign up. You already get access. It's an evergreen webinar. So please do engage with that, and watch our page if you'd like to contact us for more information. Please do. I'm always happy to meet people and hear about their story. So till next time, take care and have a lovely afternoon.